So what is the most effective way or the most effective things you can do to make money in the market? Because that really, as a beginner, that's really what you want to know. It's very, very easy to get caught up in a lot of different things. There's a massive information out there, okay? And it's how do you put all that information together to come up with a way of making money trading Forex? That's the only question. And you could waste years of your life in looking for what's called the holy grail of trading. But what I want to do is actually give you some shortcuts to that and make things very, very simple, okay? So one of the most effective ways to make money in the market is what I call patterns. And well, I don't call them patterns, they are patterns, chart patterns, okay? Because what you can see when you just look here is you could see that price is going up and down, up and down, up and down, okay? And so how do you make sense of price going up and down? Well, what we do is we start drawing lines. So for example, if I do a line across there, you'll see that price actually came up and it hit it, okay? And it hit it and then it bounced straight off it. If I do, let's find another one. If I do a line there, okay, and a line there, what we can see is that there is a channel beginning, okay? So without knowing anything, if I look into the future, okay, and I actually go onto shapes and I put a little rectangle somewhere here, and I put a little rectangle somewhere here, okay, what this tells us is that price, if it hits there, somewhere there, okay, it's going to be the third bounce off what we call a trend line. And if price hits here, it's going to be the third bounce off this lower trend line here, because it looks as if price is forming another channel. And channels are patterns that you will find everywhere, okay? So here is another channel. Okay, this is a widening channel and it's known as a megaphone channel. Okay, so price started there, bounce 1, bounce 2, bounce 3, so bounce 2 on the upper line. Then it came down here, but it missed, it couldn't hit this lower line there. So the pattern started to change, started to move, went back up there, bounced again off this trend line, and then the trend line failed and you could see it started making another pattern, okay? And that's what price tends to do a lot. It tends to form these channel-like patterns, okay? Going sort of bouncing up and down, up and down, up and down, and then basically they fail and they start forming other patterns. Let's do another one here. Okay, so you can see there's another channel, up and down, sideways move, then the pattern fails, and then it forms another up and down, sideways move. And then in between that, every so often, you'll get a huge move up or a huge move down, but most of the time, okay, you will see these patterns forming. And if you can shrink out the chart, if you sort of click here, this shrinks out the chart, it makes these patterns very, very clear. Now, why are these so powerful? They're powerful because there is an element of predictability, okay? And I say an element, it doesn't mean they definitely will, but it is it does give you an idea of where price is going to go next. And if you have an idea of where price is going to go next, then you can actually have a basis on which to trade. So for example, here is a pattern here, okay? I know that's a pattern probably like from here, for example, I can see that there is a little bounce there. There's a third bounce there. Okay, so I can know the bottom line. I don't know the top line, but I know this line here. So if I'm just trading, let's say, waiting for the next bounce off this line here, I pretty much know that it's going to bounce when it hits here, or even if I don't know it's going to bounce, I've got a place to look for a bounce, okay? And then by the time it hits this second bounce at the top here, I've now got a second top line. So I can predict in advance that price can go here, and that if I was going to trade long, I would take my profits here. Okay, and so this is what patterns do, is patterns give you predictability in the markets.